Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cryptid Vault. Today, we won't be telling you about legends, but about real encounters that defy all logic. 3 chilling testimonies from those who have crossed paths with beings that exist beyond the boundaries of known science. These stories have been reconstructed from first-hand accounts from survivors. Now, let's begin with the first encounter. Case 1, the Pale Crawler, Gabriel, Washington.
Hello everyone, my name is Gabriel. The story I'm about to share dates back 3 years, and it's an event that never ceases to haunt me. I've always considered myself an outdoors expert, but that all changed that day during a solo hike in the remote northern Washington forest. I had chosen a secluded trail. The first few miles were idyllic, but after about 4 miles, the forest fell into an absolute, unnatural silence. Not a bird, no buzzing. I knew a predator was nearby. Immediately afterward, I found footprints in the mud. The stride was frighteningly long, almost 2 meters, and the toes were elongated, almost clawed. I had never seen footprints like them. I kept walking, but I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. Then I heard breathing, low and raspy, coming from my left, following my rhythm. If I stopped, it stopped. It was too deliberate. He was playing with me. I started running. Then I heard heavy footsteps behind me on the path. I turned around. There was nothing there. That's when I saw him, 30 meters away in the center of the path, an incredibly tall figure, almost 7 feet tall. His body was pale, almost transparent, with joints bent at unnatural angles like a puppet. His face was completely smooth, featureless. He stood there, then slowly tilted his head as if he were studying me. I ran. I could hear it moving parallel through the forest, slipping between the trees. I stumbled, and when I turned around, the thing was standing over me. Its skin was covered in dark, pulsing veins. It made a deep, guttural gurgle. I ran to a road. I never saw him again, but I know he was real. If the forest goes silent, trust your instincts and run away immediately. Don't let it follow you.
Case 2, the Aquatic Beast, Riley, Minnesota.
My name is Riley. What I'm about to tell you happened in the summer of 2021. We were camping with my friends, Addison, Marcus, and Jenna, on an incredibly isolated lake in northern Minnesota. There was no cell service. We were completely alone. It seemed like the perfect weekend, 3 days of swimming and evenings around the fire. On Saturday evening, around 10 o'clock, the atmosphere changed. Addison pointed to the calm water. We saw a wake cutting across it with a purpose. We shone our flashlights, and 50 meters away, something surfaced with a loud crash. It was too big for a freshwater lake and immediately disappeared. Then we heard a low, guttural, almost mechanical growl vibrating from beneath the surface. We were terrified and moved camp away from the shore. At midnight, I was awakened by splashes. There was a figure on the shore, too tall and hunched over. The body was wrong. Limbs bent at multiple angles. As it approached, I saw dark, shiny skin, almost reptilian. The toes were webbed. He turned his head toward my tent. I felt like he was being watched. He let out that growl, and then he whispered Addison's name. She was awake next to me. After the longest wait of my life, she turned and returned to the water, submerging herself without a ripple. We immediately fled. A local told me that that lake is avoided because of ancient stories about something living in the water. I'll never go back there. If you see anything that doesn't belong in the water, run away immediately. Don't wait to find out what it is.
Case 3, the vocal mimic, Caleb, Kentucky.
Hi, my name is Caleb. My most terrifying encounter occurred in 2018 while I was camping with my brother Tyler outside a remote cabin in the Appalachian Mountains. My family was used to camping, but we had never been this isolated. Then I heard my own voice nearby calling Tyler, but I was silent. We were surrounded by these voices, which were growing increasingly aggressive. I heard footsteps too heavy to be human. The second night, my brother and I slept in a tent. Around 2 a.m., I heard my mother's voice calling my name, but it was distorted and unnatural. Then I heard my father calling her from the opposite direction, in the forest. We get it. The voices were almost exact, but the cadence was off. It was an imitation. We ran toward the cabin. I dared to look back. At the edge of the clearing stood an incredibly tall figure, its limbs bent. From that thing, I heard my voice again telling Tyler to stop. We locked ourselves in the cabin. My father was skeptical, until my mother's voice called right outside the door while she was in the living room. The voices and heavy footsteps on the roof continued all night.
I don't know what it was. It studied us and used our voices against us. We never returned to those woods again.
If you hear someone you know calling your name in a remote area, make sure you can see them before answering, because things that live in the dark can sound exactly like the people you love.
We don't know what they want. We only know they're still out there, watching and waiting. Be careful what's watching you in the woods. And whatever you do, don't let it come home with you. Subscribe to the Cryptid Vault for more true and terrifying stories of encounters with the unknown and unsolved mysteries.